N.D.S.U and Sierra. And Fort Lewis.
Okay, we're on, boys.
Hello and welcome to Montana State University's glorious stadium and a game here with the Montana State Bobcats against the N.D.S.U. I believe they're the Thundering Herd. What's their...
That's right, Tony. The North Dakota State Bison.
Bison, not the Thundering Herd. That's Marshall, I believe.
You might be right there.
This week we have a couple of games, scrimmages against Fort Lewis and N.D.S.U. and later in the week Sierra Nevada. N.D.S.U. is undefeated currently. They're 5-0, beating Minnesota Duluth, Metro State, Nebraska, the Grizzlies of University of Montana, and Sierra Nevada College. And now they arrive here for a game that will not count against the regular season. Against the regular season statistics, it'll just be regarded as a 0-0 draw. There's a coaching connection through N.D.S.U. Brian Hoy, the head coach for the N.D.S.U. Bison, is a Bozeman local, Bozeman native. His brother, Pat Hoy, used to play on the MSU team. He was one of the seniors when I first got to the team. Did you ever play with him, Nick?
I did not. Pat Hoy was a coach of mine, though.
By the way, this is Tony Athanasakis and Nick Davis joining me here in the booth.
Thanks, Tony. Glad to be here.
All right, let's get things underway. N.D.S.U. starts offensive possession. Now, in warm-ups, I was seeing a lot from their defense, obviously because we are both defensive-minded players. But it'll be interesting to see how the N.D.S.U. offense sets up. Working it down to the attackman. Swinging through X. Just looking to get a feel of the tough Montana State defense. Montana State's 1-0 so far in the regular season. They beat Utah State 19-3 in the opener. Under the lights here a couple weeks ago. Number 10 for N.D.S.U. Testing the defense. Passing back down to X.
For those of you tuning in at home, it is a gorgeous day here in Bozeman. 44 degrees and not an ounce of wind in the sky. Great day for some lacrosse.
Beautiful day under the bridges.
For some high caliber lacrosse, should I say. N.D.S.U. ranked first preseason standings.
And what do you have the rank for MSU? I was looking for that. I couldn't find it.
12.
Number 12.
Can't tell if that was a shot or a pass, but it sailed high and wide out of bounds. Looks like they'll call it a shot.
N.D.S.U. retains possession. Cutter down the middle. Shot on cage.
Great opportunity. Bounce high.
And they're going to give it to the Bobcats. Got to the end line quicker. That's number 17. For MSU, who is that?
Be Max Fleming, a freshman.
Number 77.
Back up that shot. And Josh can't quite handle it there on the sideline. It's out of bounds.
Shot on the run. Saved. Ground ball picked up. Up, tossed in the air. Looks like it's going out of bounds. N.D.S.U. flips it in. No, that's going to be... It's going to stay N.D.S.U. ball.
That's a ground ball that we've got to come up with as Bobcats, Tony. That'll
Yeah.
nice to see a little bit.
Just got to have the patience.
Another good opportunity there, wide.
This is one of the few times I've seen a team that is as large as Montana State's with the N.D.S.U. bench looking pretty full over there.
Sitting around 35 guys on the roster. They're a large team. This is one that, a matchup that I've liked seeing here in the stadium or in Grand Forks if it need be, that when we were playing we didn't get to
No, we never
test
did.
our mettle.
Never played these guys.
Bison.
They're a consistently good team from year to year. Another save. Number 16 in the cage. Colin Shriever. Sophomore goalie from Eastside Catholic, Carnation, Washington. Yeah, just a split dodge. Curls up. N.D.S.U's getting a lot of shots on cage.
There's one high.
Nothing too good. Another good backup by the, that's going to be Blake Greener down there, number 99. Defenseman, junior, stands at 6'2" tall. And he's from Scripps Ranch High School in San Diego, California. A lot of people from all over the place coming to play lacrosse here. It's a good place to come.
It is. As you can tell by the sidelines, we've had a lot of snow this year. A lot of people come out here to ski, find out we've got a lacrosse team, and hop on the field.
Interception. No goalie in the cage.
Dangerous position.
That's going to be a flag down, I believe. Good save. Oh, yeah, we're going to get a push from behind.
Push from behind.
That's a good call by the ref.
But a lucky break. That was some high, hard contact to that guy's back.
Yeah, could have been a 30-second technical.
For Preston
or even
Olsen.
a cross check, but, you know, what else can you do from that position aside from take the shot, pay the price? Luckily, nobody in the box for the Bobcats. Another shot. Oh, no, he passes to X.
Here partway through the first, the Cats have spent a lot of time on defense. I don't think we've had a single offensive possession, Tony.
Nope, and we failed to clear the ball once already. Let's see if we can get it down into the offensive zone. Great ride by the attackman there.
Coming up with a check. Ball's in the turf.
Blake Greener passes down. Oh, another scoop. And N.D.S.U's coming back down the field. Oh, can't keep his footing. That's going to be a play-on situation. I think they're going to call that with a push with the possession. Maybe a timeout. Yeah, it looks like N.D.S.U got off the timeout before the loose ball. So we'll be right back to the action after this strategic meeting. And this is going to be a huge possession right here because MSU has failed to get the ball moving across the field. And N.D.S.U's getting all the shots they want, and now they have a chance to get the first goal in the game, even though they've been putting a lot of shots on cage. And if you're Montana State, you got to stop. You got to get one more defensive stop because this is gut check time. If they can get out of this possession, and that's a win right there because.
That's right, Tony. First blood, as some would call it, the first goal of the game, can really set the tone for the rest of the game.
Absolutely, and the defense of Montana State, although they're allowing some chances, they're still holding tough at the back end there. So, yeah, next goal doesn't quite win the game, but it'll do a lot to get the team on the right track. Because as you know, one team must score more goals than the other team.
Right you are, Tony.
Once again, folks, Tom Schultz will be back soon, I promise. But until then, you have two ex-players who don't know what they're doing on the microphones. So, if you're patient with us, we'll be patient with you. All right, as we get back into action here, let's see what happens. Ten minutes and 27 seconds left in the first quarter. N.D.S.U has been pretty balanced, coming from X and coming from up top, from behind the cage and coming from in front of the cage. But still nothing quite on the doorstep, which is the #1 place to get a goal, if you ask me. Highest percentage shot. But let's see, they keep on singling out defensemen and feeding the crease. And that's gonna count as goal. I'm gonna say that he got the goal off before he was in the cage. And that'll break the tie of 0-0. Bison up 1. Feeds the cage. Yeah. Plants it low. That's tough for a goalie to make a save. And yeah, I think on that one you just have to have you can't let that cutter get off. You gotta have somebody turn and face him, or hopefully knock down that pass, check hands. What would you do, Nick, in that situation? What would you tell your defense after you get that goal scored on you?
You've got to have a little bit of help from the midfield there, calling out that cutter and disrupting his path in the first place.
Got to have a 3-second memory. Learn and move on. Many defensive coaches tell me that before.
The Bison winning the face, getting right into the box there.
Oh, chance. Yeah, that's a good push. Good defense. Caused the loose ball. And we'll see if Montana State can get a possession. Possibly a shot and a goal. Number 19, that's Trey Bartu, I believe. Is he a senior yet, or is he
A junior.
Junior on the team? I don't believe we have very many seniors. William Brine, number 44, the LSM from Massachusetts.
Man, he has had a tough career here with the Bobcats, suffering from several knee injuries, but talk about a guy who loves the team, loves to play lacrosse, and it really gives it his all at practice.
I believe there's only 2 other seniors on the team. That would be David Rizzolo and Lewis Richmond.
Here's a flag down on the play. Perhaps some late contact by the Bison.
Somebody coming to the penalty box. Number 13 for the Bison, taking a knee.
We Alec Larson. I'm not sure what the penalty was there, but let's see if the Cats can convert on their first man-up opportunity, the first of the game.
This is definitely something that you feel you have to score if you have the ball. But defense sometimes prides itself on the man-down unit. That's going to be a push, I believe. Yeah, they're going to play on. Oh, they're going to give it to the Bison.
Good offsides. It looked like a push to me, Tony. Let me tell you, Ian, number 21 there, Ian Stanley is a big dude, and he's not keen to flopping.
I believe he was pushed too. He thinks he was believed. Something like that. Doesn't matter. The ref makes the call, and the ref's word is law. No sense in arguing. A little bit of a penalty kill here from the Bison. In danger of getting a stall warning if it takes too long.
Now the penalty is released.
Driving to the wing, passing to X, looking to feed the middle. Nothing there. Dances back. Blake Greener applying the defense. Pushes him up and over. The ball swings. Rolls back. Fake pass. That's number 20 for the Bobcats on the defense. Wasn't fooled. Shot on the run. Wide.
He just pulled that one a little bit, but it's going to stay on this side of the field with the Bison possessing the ball.
I'm impressed with the defense to be able to get to the end line twice already in the game to back up those shots. It's definitely a mini battle on the field. So you can get there quicker. It could be crucial. Shot on the run off the face mask of the goalie. Number 5 wheels it back. So far from the offense, they're looking to pass to cutters, and they're also not afraid to dodge and shoot. So varied offense. And there's a pass over the middle. Very fancy backhand finish. Going to the ground, doubles the lead. That's tough to stop. It's a pass over the middle of the goalie. Feels like he might have intercepted that, but the spin low, that's a goal every time.
Yeah, that's the sophomore Spencer Marsh, Tony, with a beautiful shot to take us to 2-0 North Dakota State.
Like I was saying, those shots are coming on the doorstep. If you can get to the middle of the defense, right in front of the goalie, that's the shot the offense wants to take, and that's the shot the defense cannot allow. So we'll see if Montana State can stop that from happening.
That was certainly a critical error, allowing him to roll topside there, Tony. A good defender would keep him low and wait for the cone slide to come.
Fast break shot, bounced over the top. Score is 2-0 with the Bison up in the first quarter. About 6 minutes left in the first.
Here's Ryan Stover with a shot. Low and wide. It's going to stay in North Dakota.
Yeah, the vast majority of this quarter has been played on this half. So next time Montana State gets the ball, they're going to want to give the defense some rest. That ball's going wide. Not going into the street. I don't know. Pushing. Rolls back. No one to feed. Good defense by Ian Stanley. Dodging from up top. Pushes him. Shot and a finish. Bouncing on the ground into the top corner of the far post. And that's tough right there. I mean, it's a low angle shot, but it's too close. You got to have somebody in front of that guy. And sometimes it can't be the person who's applying the defense. Somebody else has to leave their assignment and stop that shot.
We've certainly seen a lot of shots coming from that alley, the right alley, Tony, so maybe we can get the Cats to come up with an adjustment there. It's just off the screen, but the Bison have kind of a cool sideline celebration for that goal. It looked like some sort of bench press maneuver, maybe a squat rack built out of several players.
Well, yeah, might as well get the team celebrations going on. It's all about fun, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Pass knocked down.
There's a little
can't
fun.
Find it.
Someone's confused.
Goes right through the teeth of the defense. Finally loses the ball. The flag was down for an offsides by the attackman. It's going to be a man down unit for the Bobcats coming out and the man up unit for the Bison coming out. This is the first time that the N.D.S.U has been up. One man. Number 41 in the box for the offsides. That'll be Alex Brown from the San Ramon Valley in Danville, California. More used to calling his name for scoring opportunities than putting him in the box. But nonetheless, here we are. N.D.S.U shot wide. That's just a 30-second penalty, so this will release pretty quick. Stopped by the defense. Shot blocked. Yeah, Blake Greener might have been a little frustrated after getting hit with the shot. Gets to the loose ball push.
Actually, Nick Pfeiffer there, number 98. Tony.
98. Oh, yeah, those numbers are quite similar. They're only one away from each other. Long pass by N.D.S.U. Splits Passes to X. How even matchups on the field.
There's Josh playing some good alley defense this time.
Yeah, one of the better midfield defenders I've seen play the game. Also team president this year, I believe. So from here on, I think that the N.D.S.U is going to play a much more patient offense and just bleed the clock as much as they can. Now that with a 3-goal lead, they know that any chance they get, they still have time.
On the other hand, Tony, I'd almost be willing to force a shot here. 3 goals is certainly good production for a quarter, but 4 is all the healthier.
Quite true, quite true. But I wouldn't want to force anything and possibly cause a turnover. But, of course, if you're the defense, you want them to force a shot or a pass. It might go the other way. But yeah, at this point, the attackmen have got to be pretty bored for Montana State. Hopefully they get some more action. Closing minutes. The rest of the second half. That's going to be another goal. Rolls crease.
This one coming from Darby Sorensen, number 14, a freshman midfielder.
Right over the right shoulder.
From Eagan, Minnesota.
Yeah, it just gets to the spot before the defense. Plants it over the right shoulder of the goalkeeper, near post.
Well, you know what they say about people from Eagan, Tony, is they're eager to score.
Ah, a classic saying.
N.D.S.U with a Viking longboat, or maybe something reminiscent of a Boundary Waters canoe trip down there on the sideline to celebrate that one.
They might be members of the crew team this summer. The 20-man crew team. It's a longboat.
Cats
can't secure
winning
the
the
face-off there. Oh,
and eventually coming up with a ground ball.
It's what, like watching a
triple team there.
Dance along a cliff.
Take advantage.
High anxiety. But Montana State gets their first possession. Not quite their first possession, but one of the few chances they have at the cage. They're really going to need a shot on goal here. Preferably in the back of the net. All right, good offensive movement from the Bobcats. Just kind of seeing what the defense gives them. It looks like they're running a zone defense, which is going to force an outside shot, if anything. Have everybody real near, ball collected. Feeds the middle. Too many people there. Ball still loose. And collected by
Cats
the
coming up with it.
That's Alex Brown. Great check there by the defense. And loose once more.
Cats have an extra man on this ball. Now even. Hard push in the back. We'll see if that gets called.
Yep. It's going to stay Bobcats ball.
Against the Bison, we got a minute 23 left in the quarter. Let's see if the Cats can come up with some sort of drive.
One goal here would be great, but if you can score with enough time left to get potentially another offensive possession, it's definitely the course of action that would be required. Good pass after faking the wind up for the shot. That's Lewis Richmond, number 1. Far skip pass intercepted by the Bison.
Picked
defense.
by number 50, Matt Lutgen.
Long pass up the field. Starts to clear. Great ride. Number 9 collects.
It's coming back the other way. The Bison have numbers, and a short scoring opportunity is thwarted there.
That's a Grant Jackson with the forced turnover and ground ball to keep the Bobcats in the offensive zone.
Just 20 seconds left in the quarter, Tony.
Number 41, Alex Brown, takes it behind. ISO dodge on the long stick. Feeds the middle. Loose ball again. Gives it to his goalie. Starts to clear once more. Long pass down the field. It's going to be end of the first quarter. We'll see you guys shortly at the start of the second. Hello and welcome back to the broadcast of the Montana State lacrosse teams against the North Dakota State University Bison. It's a beautiful lacrosse game. The score is 4-0 at the start of the second quarter with N.D.S.U up. The Bobcats looking to claw back into this one. What did you notice from the first quarter of action? Nick Davis.
Thank you, Tony. For those of you just joining us, the illustrious Tony Athanasakos and myself, Nick Davis, in the booth. There's a lot of defense played by the Cats first quarter. N.D.S.U is able to win and maintain possessions, came up with some very nice rides and some defensive takeaways.
They're looking pretty dominant from the face-off X as well.
As they win another.
Yeah, too much defense absolutely played by the Bobcats in the first quarter. It's going to tire the defense more quickly than the coach would like. So hopefully the team can obviously score some goals quickly, but they're going to need to give their defense a rest.
That's right. Chris Kelly, a coach for the Bobcats, longtime student of the sport, played for the Cats himself, one of the founding members of the team. Certainly could say something to the effect of cleaning up their clears, if nothing else.
Indeed. Great rush. Oh, they're going to call that for a push. Okay.
Odd call. Looks like it's certainly in the front.
That's number 7, Casey Kruger. Casey, that was great defense. I don't think that was deserving of the call like that. And that might be a penalty for push with possession for 30 seconds.
A late slap to the wrist there.
So penalty coming up on the Bobcats. I believe it's number 99, Blake Greener, in the box for a 30-second push in the back with possession.
You mentioned Blake's physicality, Tony, but he is a bit of a head case when it comes to getting a little overzealous from time to time. He certainly spends his fair share of time and perhaps more than necessary in the box.
I think a large part of it is due to him being just stronger than anybody else on the field. He pushes people around very easily, and it doesn't take much for a quick shoulder to send the other person flying.
He's a sack of potatoes, that's for sure, Tony. Once on a slide, I collided with Blake and broke his shoulder. At the time, he thought it was dislocated and popped it back in.
Tough as nails. I've gotten knocked over a couple times by you, Nick. It's not fun. And there's a quick goal for N.D.S.U. Passes through the defense and hits the man on the doorstep. And that's just a quick finish to the top shelf.
Number 6, Noah Simpson.
It's a very balanced offense we're seeing from N.D.S.U. They're not taking huge outside shots. Everything's coming within 5 yards of the goalie. Passes are setting everything up. So, yeah, this is going to be a tough climb back for the Bobcats. But I mean, the intensity of the attackmen and the things I've seen on this field by the Bobcats, I know they still have a chance, but they need to start scoring goals quickly. Face-off win and collected by the Bobcats.
Nice hockey play there to come up with a ground ball on the wing.
So there definitely needs to be a sense of urgency, and that is the last thing that they needed. A high pass out of bounds will send the ball back to the Bison. Now here you need a ride, and you need to get the ball back. You need to stop this from coming back into your defensive end. It's a very patient clear. Collected, though, by the Bobcats.
Certainly contact to the back there, Tony, but no flag.
Nothing yet. They almost had the failure to advance call. But the Bison are able to run it into the offensive square. I'm not sure what the exact times they have to get over the midline and into the box, but it varies from year to year. A lot of rule changes. I'm not aware of any so far this season.
Check me on this one, Tony, but I think it's typically 15 seconds.
I used to referee the game. I should know at least one of those times. I think it's 30 seconds to get all the way into the box. Maybe less.
Slide comes.
Shot staying in bounds. That's going to be another push. Loose ball push. Nope, they're going to let him play on. And a long pass is going to stay with the Bison.
Here's a hustle play.
Now at this point, yeah, I would hope that the defense starts playing out on the ball. Obviously, it extends you a little bit, but you need to force. You need to start forcing the offense to do something that they don't want to do, because so far the Bison offense has been comfortable.
It's a big save off an inside roll.
We're going to call interference and give it to the Bobcats.
Pfeiffer to Josh, out to Greener. Up to Stanley with a good-looking clear there for the Bobcats.
Fantastic.
Now Rizzolo with the ball.
Nobody held the ball for longer than 2-3 seconds. And now the Bobcats have a chance. Got to keep moving that ball. People are
Double
open.
team.
Swings it. Oh, there's one more pass. There it is. Good patience. Number 94. Michael Whalen with the ball. Shot.
Sailing one over the restraining net into the parking lot.
Watch out for the car windows out there. All right, this is a must-score opportunity. David Rizzolo takes it, splits left, feeds low. Alex Brown, great cross the crease, outside of the net. That was good offense, though. Risky pass, but it was almost rewarded.
Lewis Richmond on the ride.
And, doesn't
Being
look like they're going
forced
to get the
offsides.
offsides. I don't see a flag down, though. There it is. Feed to the top of the box. No shot. N.D.S.U. patiently works the ball around. Bounce shot going wide. But that's a free shot since the flag was down. And once again, the Bison man-up unit takes to the field, and the Bobcats man-down unit sees if they can stop this possession. Great defense there by number 20, almost forcing a turnover. The Bison are right back in it, and that's a long pass.
Rolls out of bounds and into the snowbank.
One of the few mistakes we've seen from the Bison. So we know they're mortal. The score is still 5-0. The Bison up on the Bobcats. And 9 minutes and 24 seconds left in the second quarter and in the first half. If they can get off at least 2 goals with this
Colin
time left.
forcing a shot right up the gut.
Good carry by number 5, Keegan Lancaster. Passes back to David Rizzolo, who gives it to Lewis Richmond, who gets a shot. That's not good.
He was able to put some power on it, but it just bounced wide of the net.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, you have to take these shots. You have to take any opportunity you can get because you got to score to win. And so far, there's not been too many shots for the Bobcats. Loose ball on the doorstep is going to be collected by the Bison, given to the goalie. Yeah, the offense is starting to get a little frustrated now, I'm sure.
A nice clear for the Bison.
No flag down on the wild swing.
The Bison taking their time here as they set up an offense.
Very patient offense. Dodge, redodge, swing it wide. This is what the Montana State offense usually looks like. All right, we got conflicting calls on the field by the referees. We'll see what they come up with here. One is saying Montana State ball, one saying Bison ball.
Certainly flew off the stick, the Bison attackman.
They're calling a push against the Bobcats, and it'll stay Bison ball.
Loose ball push. That's an interesting call, Tony. Maybe late high contact, if anything. But I thought it had been a fine opportunity for a no call.
And there's going to be a timeout taken. Both teams will return to their sidelines to get words from Coach. Now, we've both had the opportunity to be coached by both of the coaches that have got the Montana State Bobcats to where they are today. Mike Robitaille and Coach Chris Kelly, definitely two of the best coaches I've had. What do you think about them?
Certainly, two coaches with very different coaching styles, but both instrumental in progressing Bobcat lacrosse to a higher standard.
One of the best years I had playing for the team was when they pretty much split the duties in half, with becoming more of an offensive coordinator of Chris Kelly and Mike Robitaille taking up the defensive coordinator, and that was a fun year. Took us all the way to nationals.
That's right. Bobcats' first trip.
That was your sophomore year or your freshman year?
My sophomore.
My third year playing for the team. So yeah, a couple teammates in the booth today. We're trying to keep it unbiased as best we can, but we are former Bobcat players.
And of course, a big shout out to the third man in the booth, the silent spectator in charge of all the cinematography. Excuse me, Tony. What's the word here?
Cinematography.
Exactly. Yeah, the film work Tuck from mtsport.tv.
Thanks, Tuck. The show doesn't happen without you.
No, without you guys.
You could.
I can put it on.
We could just. Sometimes we take enough silences that the picture is more important. So, Tuck, you're the real MVP. Big loose ball, collision, people flying everywhere. But Bobcats will pull it out and start the clear. Goalie streaking down the field. Good pass on the run to number 7. Whips it over to
Stanley with the outlet, cross-field pass, pretty dangerous, and it's come up to the other goalie, who is finding himself in dangerous territory, but has an outlet.
both of the goalies getting a little taste of the dream of running around on the field. We both played with Parker Ferry, and I don't think I've ever seen a goalie love running away from his cage more than him. Big swing and a miss. Bobcats running down the field. Another turnover. Oh, calls. It might have been a loose ball push for the late hit. Stay Bobcats ball. Five to 0 seems bad, but with a game that can have goals scored within seconds of each other, it's not that big of a lead.
I believe the shortest time from a dead ball to a goal is under 2 seconds from a sideline play. I'm not exactly sure what that figure is off the face-off.
It's got to be under 10 seconds.
Certainly. Under 5, perhaps.
We'll look up the record books. Feed inside with the fancy backhand finish, not quite enough. So there has to be a sense of urgency, but you also can't be desperate for a goal. You have to take a good shot. And so far, Bobcats just haven't seen any.
It's certainly rare to find the Bobcats deep in the second quarter with no goals to their name.
It's a testament of how good the Bison defense is, absolutely. And the goalie. He hasn't had to make too many saves, but he's made some. Richmond passes up top. Collects the ball again. And the zone is staying really close knit. They're stopping all of the, they're standing in the shooting and passing lanes. So just forces the offense to make bad passes and take outside shots. There was a flag down on the far side of the field. Looks like a Bison player headed to the box.
I believe that'll be number 14, Darby Sorensen with the slash.
Number 50.
Oh, excuse me, number 50, Matt Lutgen.
Here's a chance for the Bobcats to put one on the board.
Second man-up opportunity. They were unable to convert on the first, obviously.
Ball at X, feeds over the top, stumbles, still gets the shot off, but it's wide. Bobcats will keep the ball.
Another one, quick shot there, just over the crossbar.
Feed knocked down, a lot of shots knocked down by this Bison defense. The defender picking the ball up and taking it wheels on down the field. Passes back. The Bison have an opportunity to pull it back out.
Unsettled now, the Cats are in the hole. Still man up.
Penalty is about to be released.
The Bison have killed both man-up opportunities for the Bobcats now. They're certainly comfortable in their zone, Tony, and that's one thing that a lot of teams in the MCLA can't say.
Good push.
Big body there by Trey Barr, too.
So this can be a huge help to a team in the scope of the season, to see a team that has, everything working for it. They're firing on all cylinders, and it's just an example of what the Bobcats want to accomplish and what they want to, resemble. Is a fully balanced team, offense, defense, don't make mistakes, and the ball movement's just fantastic. And then he dances on them with the rollback shot and the goal. I mean, the ball movement, the passes are just firing off.
That's number 5, Avery Normandin from Hopkins, Minnesota. The North Dakota roster is stacked with people from Minnesota. No surprise.
Definitely one of the hotbeds of lacrosse nowadays.
Yeah, they are certainly developing the sport a lot earlier than many communities across the West. But I think also testament to the North Dakota team is that there's probably a lot of ex-hockey players out here. And it's always nice to see multi-sport athletes, and I think hockey especially is a very nice complement to lacrosse.
I definitely remember playing against a lot of hockey lacrosse players from Vancouver, and I just remembered that I would be a little more bruised and bleeding after those games. They're just a little rougher than people who don't play hockey.
That's right, Tony. If you're making the transition to lacrosse from soccer or basketball, you might not have that physical component. Someone who is a football player or a hockey player.
Yeah, they're a little more comfortable dishing out the pain.
And of course, Tony, that takes knowing pain to be able to dole it back out.
Indeed. I think the sport I picked up my love for contact was probably Taekwondo. I remember taking kicks to the chest and thinking, I kind of like that. I kind of like that feeling.
I'm sure you delivered a few roundhouses yourself there, Tony.
Oh, just a few. I never quite got to black belt. Great ride there by Lewis Richmond. Forces the loose ball. That's I would call that a legal push.
First, certainly.
I'd say that you got to let him play on. I didn't see anything egregious there. But the call is made, and the ball will go back to the Bison. Long pass upfield.
Quick clear and an opportunity here.
Looks like they're going to probably pull it back out, bleed more clock. They've shown a commanding presence of the game. Clock management, fast breaks, dodges to the X, gets his shot off. But it's over the top. But with the backup shot, they have another chance. Really showing their position here at the number 1 team in Division II.
They're certainly owning it. Just over a minute left in the half. Bobcats still scoreless.
Bison pass down to X. That's going to be a push with possession for 30 seconds on Mr. Blake Greener. Practically steamrolled him.
From his position there, maybe just a foot behind, but there's not a lot he can do to prevent a goal there. Let's see if Bobcats man down defensive unit, minus Blake, can hold the Bison off for one more.
It's definitely one of those things. You constantly tell your defensive players that you have to play body, you have to push, and be physical with them. But if you're behind if you're behind the player with the ball, any contact with the back of their jersey, back of their shoulder pads, is going to result in a 30-second penalty if you push them too hard. And so at that point, you have to play stick. You have to play.
Number 17 eating a shot on the backside of the goal there, but he'll keep it in bounds for another shot.
Good save by the goalie, but he's going to have to pick it up as he fumbles it outside. Good back pass. And that's the end of the half. The score is 6-0, with the Bobcats trailing the North Dakota State University Bison. Definitely number 1 team versus the number 12 team. And that's the scoreboard reflects that. We'll see if the Bobcats can come out with a little more offensive possession, maybe a little more help defense. Something's got to give. What do you think?
We'll just have to wait and find out, Tony.
Could get a lot worse before it gets better, but we'll see what the coach changes game plan, and we'll see you at the start of the second half. Hello and welcome back. We are at the start of the second half, and there was no face-off because there was a Bobcat in the box.
Ouch, there's a flag on the slash to Schwal.
I had my mic off. There we go. Yeah, there was no face-off to start the second half because of the penalty on the Bobcats. So here we go, right into possession. The flag down, and so free possession here for the Bobcats, free shot. That would be ideal situation because the slash will carry over if a goal is scored, but that's a good strip and a face-off.
There's a late whistle. They'll certainly need every opportunity they can afford to claw their way back into this one, Tony.
That's right. They're going to need a lot of goals, and they're going to need a lot of defensive stops. They're going to need to win every ground ball. It's possible. It's a game of runs, and Bobcats can go on one here, but so far there has been zero opportunity for the Bobcats to get a rhythm on offense or defense.
So the penalty there for those at home was slashed by Justin Linderholm, number 17, on Josh Schwal just as he crossed over the midline. Not a real hard slash, but he didn't make contact with the stick whatsoever. So it's an easy one for the refs. Wow, there's a stinger bouncing off the crossbar and almost out of the stadium.
Another man-up opportunity for the Bobcats. No goals yet. See if they can break the goose egg. It'll be a huge relief once they do. Being held to 0 goals and a half has to be demoralizing.
There's another shot.
See, it's coming from a low angle. You're taking a risk by throwing it over the top of the goalie. I feel like the Bobcats, they do best when they're taking shots on the doorstep. See if they can find a way to get there. And a great poke check. Great hustle to get that ground ball. It's David Rizzolo, number 0, the senior. Passes down. Number 5. Pass back up. Long shot and a goal. That was a crucial goal.
There's Michael Whalen, a sophomore midi from Round Hill, Virginia. The Bobcats' first for the day.
That was a huge weight off the shoulders. He gets a step, he lets it rip, and beats the goalie. Now with the score 1-6, 5 goals down, Bobcats got to feel like they have a chance to go on a run here, pull it closer, possibly tie it up, even get the lead back, all before the start of the 4th quarter.
Lacrosse is absolutely game of runs, Tony, and the 5 goals is a healthy run. It's not unspeakable.
But they're going to need to get possession. The Bison taking it once again, they're going to look to bleed the clock once more. Patient dodge, passes back up, a redodge. The Bison looking to feed the middle. There's a man open.
Early slide, and there, Bobcats are able to recover.
Going to dodge through X once again. Rolls back, switches over. Nothing there, passes up to number 4 of the Bobcats, to number 9, to number 10, who dodges the right sideline, takes his shot. It's wide. And that's going to be backed up by
Ian Stanley.
the Bobcats ball. Oh no, they're not going to give it to him. It'll stay with the Bison.
That's a tough call, Tony. Of course, we have the jaded opportunities, along with those viewing at home, to see the game from the sky. It's a lot easier to gauge those angles and do some instant trigonometry from a aerial angle opposed to from the ground level, as the refs have to do.
It's a great save by number 16 for the Bobcats. But yes, the bird's eye view is the best way to watch lacrosse. My first game watching up here in the booth, I was just blown away how much more fun it is to watch the game. Much better than the sideline. And I would say it's better than the stands.
Tony, put yourself in CK's shoes. What do you say to the guys over halftime? How do you light a fire under their feet?
Well, I would have to remind them that, this game was it's just a scrimmage, You're looking at the number one team in the country, and this has got to be a learning experience and a chance to prove to yourself that you can hang. And the first half is the first half. It's not the game's not over. Great split dodge there from, is that number 98 or 99?
98.
Oh yeah, a little too much. Got to pass that ball.
There's a big push in the back there.
It's getting physical out there.
Flag down. Some talk on the
yeah.
field. A second flag.
Oh, three
and a
flags.
third after the play.
I think both teams will be having a man in the box after that.
When the colors come off.
A lot of penalties to call here, but it looks like
Number 99, Greener, no surprise. For the Cats. It appears there's a flag on either team. Both, rather.
a lot of conference going on here.
Coach's time to discuss. The referee's time to discuss a multiple penalty situation here, which could get a little bit tricky. I'd be interested to hear what was said down there on the field to warrant 2 late flags from the referees.
Probably just telling each other that, hey, watch out, buddy. I'm out here, too. Something to that effect. I don't know. There's no mics down there.
No.
This might be a timeout by the referees.
Yes, it is, Tony. A lot of times when there are multiple flags after the play, some are enforced after another, some are tacked on, so that 2 penalties aren't served at once, enabling a longer man-down period, or in this case, maybe 5-on-5, leading into a man advantage. So we have an offsetting penalty.
Do penalties offset? I think they both get assessed. And it looks like they're locked up, so some conduct fouls on the field. Most likely for the things said, whatever they may be. And yeah, number 10 and number 99 both taking a knee in the box. Fingers are being pointed.
That's Anthony Bannock for North Dakota State, his first penalty of the game. This game comes to us from Bobcat Stadium as one of several this week. A lot of teams are on spring break right now, and for college lacrosse, that is no fun time. It means a lot of travel, a lot of eating out, a lot of hardship for some teams.
Sounds fun to me.
It is, yeah. It can be a great time, but on the other hand, it could be a tough time for a team who goes on the road, spending the entire week away and getting their butt whooped.
Part of the game. Only one way to get better.
That's right.
Practice.
Some of those other games being Fort Lewis versus Montana State, another scrimmage. Sierra Nevada, ready to play both Montana State and N.D.S.U. Excuse me, I believe they played yesterday.
That's right. With N.D.S.U coming out on top, 9-6.
That's right. And the Grizzlies of the University of Montana have also been down here to take advantage of some of these out-of-state games.
Yeah, they've had a pretty decent season so far, playing 9 games, and with the overall record of 6-3. They opened up their season as the first collegiate lacrosse team to play a game in Mexico. They played the Mexican national team in Mexico City and beat them 12-6. So that's a great first step for the league to develop to the south of the border, and good way to open up the season. A little history for the Grizz. They then moved on to play Seattle University, winning 18-2. They lost to Washington University 7-12. The Huskies. They beat Western Washington 11-4. The University of Puget Sound 10-4. Utah State 10-4. Idaho they lost to the Vandals of Idaho. They lost 8-11. They beat Fort Lewis 19-6, and they lost to North Dakota State 6-9. So the Copper Cup is coming up. I believe it's the weekend of the 24th, and it's good to see this Providence, which was formerly known as the Great Falls University. They've taken home the Copper Cup before. The Grizz and the Bobcats have taken it home before, so it's great to see all three of those teams putting it in.
I'm going to call you on that one, Tony. The Argos of Great Falls have won a game in the Copper Cup.
They've never won it?
But they have not taken home the hardware.
I thought they did last year.
No, the Bobcats, filling the role of the spoilers, losing to Great Falls by, they lost to Great Falls by less of a points differential than Montana beat Great Falls. So the Grizzlies took home the cup in 2017.
Okay, excuse me, I stand corrected. But it's always a competitive game, which is nice to see.
It is. The Argos have made some great improvement.
Beat the Bobcats and the Grizzlies. Not the Copper Cup, but scrimmages and fall ball.
That's correct.
Here we go. Back to action. Great save. Quick
clear.
pass.
It's on the turf and is
Repossessed.
hockey type ground ball play.
Oh, that's tough.
There's number 4, Preston Olson, was first for the day.
It's an unsettled situation. Not all of the defense is back. Not all of the offense is there. Oh, no, there's 2 people in the box for each team. I just noticed that. Thought it was a loose ball.
Certainly there's some confusion on a slide package and what's what.
And you're shooting over the top of your defender. Creates a screen. It's tough to see for the goalie.
And of course he put some mustard on that one.
Yeah, indeed. High heat. That'll push the score to 7-1. The Bison over the Bobcats. Now, see what happens at the face-off.
10 minutes left to play in the third quarter.
That's a 1v1 face-off. I've rarely seen that.
It is, and it's going to the way of the Bison by a push from behind call. And it looks like during the mix, number 94 took one to the shin. That's Michael Whalen. Bobcats face-off man. There's a nice takeaway, and the Cats come up with the ground ball.
Good move.
Beat a man, get it to the corner. Josh Wall, the wide open look. He can't come up with a goal.
Is there a flag down? Some sort of play-out situation.
Looks like number 6 will be spending some time in the penalty box. That's Noah Simpson once again. I believe his first penalty.
There
Wow.
it is.
There's some high heat from Alex Browning.
Great shot. Gotta shoot to score. That's just too much for the goalie to see. Now, that's got to give confidence to the shooters in the field. The fact that the goalie can be beaten with shots, you know.
And the defense, for that matter.
They're showing cracks. 2-7 with plenty of time left in the third quarter. I mean, this game's not over. Not by a long shot.
Pardon the shakiness there. We've got a couple of inexperienced cameramen taking over Tuck briefly. That's Colesworthy. Colesworthy, a former goalie for the Bobcats. You think he'd have an urge to steal?
He's taking the time out of his day to help us out. I'm thankful.
Yeah, he is, and
He's
we
getting
appreciate
trained.
it. You've got to wonder what the evening sun is like down there, Tony. It's, of course, daylight savings yesterday, the day before, and the sun's not setting until a little bit later, somewhere around 6:30, 7 o'clock here in Bozeman. But it is all sun today. There's not a cloud in the sky.
It's glorious. Pretty warm out there, too. What did you say it was? 41 degrees? 44?
44 degrees at the opening face-off.
It's tropical, based on what we've been getting earlier this winter.
Number 33, pinballing in.
Good defense.
Yeah, very nice slide there.
Josh Wall runs it all the way down. Can't lose the ball now, though.
Ooh. He's de-twigged. A bit of a yard sale on the field there. I think he might have jinxed him, Tony.
No late hit penalty. Oh, there is a flag down. Think that might be a late hit body check.
Inexperienced Colesworthy.
It was there. Number 88, Peter Mitchell, serving some time in the penalty box. The Cats man down unit has come up with a big turnover here. Ian Stanley now downfield, moving into Richmond, a little bit more comfortable position. Richmond, who is riding the line there as a tightrope walker, unaware that he could have come over.
Could he have? Or would that have been over and back?
I believe we have a midfielder downfield. And the Bison have another goal.
Shot coming on the doorstep. Good move to push inside and finishes right on top of the goalie. Humbling experience for the defense, but it'll ultimately make them a little tougher. Steel sharpens steel, and getting outclassed like this has its benefits. Shows you where you're weak. What was the biggest wake-up call playing a team that you ever had? We played together for 3 years, but
by and far Westminster University, Tony.
I remember those days. Was that in the tournament?
No. Yeah, I believe the score of that game when we played them my freshman year was 21-2. Steamrolling that, later in our careers we were on the upward side of.
Yeah, I believe we had a couple goose eggs. We're going to bring in a guest speaker here for you.
Bison with yet another. Joining us here is the younger brother of Duncan Scaldapetri.
Hello.
Hi and welcome.
It's actually Zaldapetri.
Excuse me.
Yes. Thank you. All right. We're lining up for the face-off here. Two teams battling it out.
Now, Kellen,
Yes, sir.
what is your take on the performance of the Bison so far?
Excuse me, what did you say?
What's your take on N.D.S.U's performance so far during the game?
I think that they're very aggressive, and they've got a highly, I guess I would say aggressive as well, play.
A highly aggressive play, I'd agree.
Yeah. They're,
especially on defense.
Yeah, especially on defense.
He's definitely been winning the ground ball scrums.
Yeah, midfield, they are very prominent.
There's a play on.
I believe so. Number 1, Lewis Richmond.
Back to number 17, not Jack Pugh. That's a one person on the team that the
They're really
Bobcats
missing this
miss.
year, huh?
Yeah. Former player wearing the 17 jersey, Jack Pugh.
Yes, sir.
Of course, replaced by Max Fleming, a freshman.
Restart here by number 5, Keegan Lancaster. Coming around.
Keegan been quiet so far, but typically good for a goal or two at the least.
Yeah. Fairly good for assists to Lewis Richmond.
So on the other hand, Kellen,
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
what would you say on the sideline to get these cats going?
I would say that their N.D.S.U is definitely a physical team, and they're definitely feeling it here. I would say that they're definitely in need of some more physicality and confidence here.
It was confident feed to the inside, but a nice stick check.
Sends it out of bounds.
Yeah, and creates an opportunity for the Bison to back it up.
All right.
The goaltender for the Bison, Noah Orham, is stead on side today. There's kind of a weird clear pass, but it's still in Bison possession. Now they're over the midline.
Good play by 18. Manning Jade. All right. Goes out of bounds. Comes out a clear.
This one for the Cats. Quick
N.D.S.U.
restart.
Yeah.
Looks like they're going to call it back. Rather a slow whistle there by the inbound ref.
Coming in for Blake, number 99.
The open goal shot and
Number 94.
goal. Michael Whalen again. Second goal on the day.
Fantastic. No, a sophomore out of Fullerton, Colorado. Or California.
I think you're thinking of Brock McClure there, number 90.
It was 94, I believe.
From Round Hill, Virginia.
That was Michael Whalen.
Michael Whalen. Joey Hoffman facing off for the Bison. And he's lost this one, which is rare to see. Thank you, Kellen, for joining us. And welcome back, Tony.
Thank you. All right, with 2 minutes and 30 seconds left in the third quarter, Bobcats just got to look to improve their status as best they can. Feed to the middle, a lot of contact, ball loose, kicked around, up in the air.
Ball's in the corner, and now it'll be contested. It's going to stay Bison ball.
Oh,
big
blew
hit
up the
on the
keeper.
goalie.
Get a whistle for that.
I believe a loose ball push. No flag. But the ball will stay in the Bison's hands. Hooves, rather.
Cloven hoofed animals.
This one goes out of bounds.
So Kellen looks like he's got the sling on his arm. He goes up at the wing.
He does, yeah. Unfortunately, Kellen might be out there, but he's suffering from a separated AC joint.
Aye. It's no fun.
No, it's not. Surgery impending. It's never good to see anyone on your team have to go under the knife or be sidelined for any reason, Tony, but especially a physical player like Kellen.
Indeed. Team's surely missing him out here right now.
Here's another flag on the play. And this time, number 28, Jack Dietz. sophomore defenseman from Rochester, Minnesota, will take a knee in the penalty box. Cats 1 for 4, if I'm correct, on man-up situations. This get pass is picked by number 50, Matt Lutkin.
Oh.
Richmond getting a little tripped up there.
Call that the turf monster. Something reached out at the turf and grabbed him.
Mm-hmm. Fun fact about turf, especially in warmer climates, a lot of bacteria can thrive and take hold. So interesting to see one this early in the spring, as we've had a lot of cold temperatures. But something certainly tripped him up there.
I don't think it was MRSA.
Here's number 47 for the Bison, Spencer Marsh. Pass high, and it's on the deck. Now the Cats come up with it.
Going straight to the cage. Feeds the crease. Ball's going to stay in bounds, I think. Yes, indeed.
Wow, nice hustle play there to keep the ball in bounds for the Cats.
Timeout taken.
And
End of the quarter. That's the end of the quarter. We'll be back shortly with the fourth quarter action. We are back. Nick Davis, Tony Athanasakis in the booth. Hi, I'm Tony.
And I'm Nick.
Tough game for the Bobcats. 9-3 at the start of the fourth quarter. But I still think it's close enough to get back into it. I think at any second they could catch fire. Put 4 in the back of the net. They need more than that. They'll need 6 to tie the game. 7
to
take
tie.
the lead. That's a tall order for the defense to keep them off of the score sheets. But it's the fourth quarter. Anything can happen.
Especially now, Tony, the Bobcat goalie, Colin Schriever, is facing the northwest aspect slightly into the sunset. We'll see if that affects him during this quarter.
Possession given to the Bobcats. Oh, no, given to the Bison. Start the fourth quarter on defense. Let's see if they can force a turnover or stop a shot or something. Because this game feels like it's far away, but it's not. I think it's been clearly one-sided on the field, but on the scoreboard, it's not that big of a deal.
That's right. For anyone just joining it, this game has been well dominated by the Bison.
And that
As that play would exemplify right there. Bull dodge down the right alley to the goal. That's been the Bison's bread and butter. And no surprise they went to it again. This time
there's
with
just
number
no slide.
16, Ryan Stover.
And there it's like there's a late slide in 21. Should come up the field to meet him. I mean, at this point you gotta stop the ball at all chances you get. And 10-7 or 10-3, 7-point lead. It's tough to come back from.
No, that's not the start to the fourth the Cats were looking for.
Another whistle. And it'll go to the Bobcats.
What I really like out of this North Dakota State team is that they've been sharing the ball. Plenty of assisted goals, and everyone on the team getting goals. We haven't had a single player take away the stats.
Absolutely. Very balanced offense. Very aggressive, as Kellen was pointing out on defense. So, I mean, things could change quickly, but, you know, they need a lot of help from every position. If the Bobcats want to get back into this.
And it looks like they might have put some stickum on the ball after that shot from David Rizzolo that was pulled
Hooked it.
severely low and away.
Similar to a golf hook. You can slice the ball as well.
Loose ball in front of the cage. Pile up of bodies. We got a Bobcat down.
Uh-oh.
The athletic staff is on the field, and let's pray that he is all right.
It's moving arms and legs. Might have got the wind knocked out of him. Hey, John, get the replay on that?
I do not.
That's okay. Not quite sure what happened to him. Timeout taken with the player on the field. I mean, with all the gear on, it's part of the game. Injuries are definitely, they happen. It's tough to see, but
It is, and that's a very dangerous spot on the field, in front of the cage. It's make or break right there. So I'd say if in anywhere, that's where chances will be taken.
not sure what player it is down on the field.
It'll be Michael Whalen.
He's up and moving.
Thankfully walking off the field. Maybe with a rung bell, but looks like all of his body parts are working just fine.
Back in action here, Montana State with the ball. Fast break by the Bison. Off for a behind-the-back clearing pass by the defense. I'm not sure if you saw that while you were talking on the phone.
I did not. Excuse me, there's an urgent call.
Shadows are creeping onto the field. Creates little dead areas of light where I can't see the ball quite as well. Of course, I need glasses, so that might just be me. They're going to call a hold.
I understand the second flag, Tony, but I think it was legal play at the beginning.
Looks like a player lost his stick. Oh, he's found it.
Perhaps a cross check.
The goalie getting a penalty? I'm not sure what the goalie got the penalty for.
But we'll see MSU's number 2 in the cage. Zach Brambrink, sophomore from Napa, California. The initial call, a push with possession from Josh Wall. Which is understandable.
Where's the goalie's penalty? Technical foul. Might be contact because I didn't see him do anything in that scuffle.
Unreleasable.
Oh, unreleasable.
Maybe a foul of the mouth.
A lot of penalties for the Bobcats.
Like you said earlier, Tony, this might be one they chalk up to a learning opportunity. And certainly one thing it takes to play on the national scale is some control of your temper.
Presence of mind.
Absolutely.
One of the things that was constantly told to us by Coach Robitaille. Now we got penalties for contact and slashes and stuff like that, but not too many penalties. 0 penalties for a long time for any technical or conduct fouls. I guess we played the game the right way.
And that's not to say that there isn't incidental chirping that occurs on the field from player to player, from spectator to player, and that's part of the game.
Yeah, but I think it's a waste of breath, personally.
Absolutely.
It's a waste of time, waste of breath, waste of potentially opportunities on the field.
As with all things, Tony, there's a time and a place.
Indeed. And action should be starting soon.
Brambrink coming in cold. Let's see if his pregame routine will pay off here.
That's tough.
Here's a critical mistake.
The backside needs to help out there.
Leaving Spencer Marsh wide open on the doorstep.
Just over 11 minutes left. The score is 11-3. Let's just check out the replay. Yeah, I mean, with the shot that close to the crease, I mean, you're not giving your goalie much of a chance. Casually passed to the middle.
I think the worst thing the Cats could do here is give up, but it's got to be tough to keep your mind in a game like this.
Got to do it just to leave it on the field, as they say. You don't want to get done with this game and think that you had more to give, even in a losing effort.
Second whistle, an infraction on the Cats.
Learning how to lose is the first step in learning how to win. That should be on a bumper sticker somewhere.
I think Lacrosse bumper stickers are few and far between, but I have seen one here at MSU, of all places, and it read, "I poke Dodgers with my spoon." Of course, a defensive bumper sticker. Fair to say that man or woman was a defensive mind.
Definitely an inside joke.
Of course, ranked first in NCAA Division I is the University of Albany. Just last week took on number 2 Maryland, the defending national champions, to a close game.
Albany's ranked number 1 right now.
That's correct.
Wow.
Big slide from Greener. It's interesting to me, Tony, how they made it to that spot. Albany's face-off man is dominant. I believe 2 games ago he went something like 24-1.
Yikes. That's just free possessions. I need to get back into watching college lacrosse on TV. Pretty soon it'll be everywhere.
Of course, you can pick up a lot of those games on ESPN-U, sometimes ESPN-DOS, the DOS, or also online on YouTube. Number 7, Casey Kruger with a big clear there for the Cats.
Still over 8 minutes left. This is definitely a game that the Bobcats are going to want to forget, but there's a lot of learning opportunities still to be had. Big shot
from far. And there's Michael Whalen with his 3rd goal.
If anything,
off, a minor injury there had him sidelined.
If anything, should give the Montana State offense a reminder that they have to shoot the ball. I mean, that's not a high percentage shot, but they have the shooters, and it's got to feel a little bit of confidence that maybe they could have kept it a little closer if they had the ball a little bit more.
Yeah, you know, Tony, you mentioned earlier you like to see the pretty finishes when the Bobcats create a tic-tac-toe scenario, and of course it is good to see, but they've really been successful from the outside, high and away. I should say what limited success they have had, I think, have mostly been long shots.
Yeah, it's definitely something you can't build your offense around. There's no two-point shot in college. And there's a shot again from the outside.
Right around 13 yards there. Alex Browning in traffic, nonetheless.
With 7 minutes left and the score 5-11, I would look to see the Bobcats shoot a lot of shots in the remaining time. And, you know, with a couple defensive stops, this game still isn't over. They'd have to win every faceoff, though. Let's see if they can get one here.
You know, Tony, I think there's some North Dakota fans at home and here in the stadium who would beg to differ.
Yeah, I've seen stranger.
And, of course, the Bison on the field.
I've seen 5-goal swings. I've seen huge swings of the game. And the Bobcat, they have the firepower on the offensive end to do it, but they can't let the Bison do this, which is bleed the clock and close this game out.
Certainly speaks to the nature of team play to be able to control a game both on the scoreboard but also slower opportunities like this. I think a good example of that was the Lacrosse World Games a couple years ago, where Canada came home with the title because of, in international play, there's no shot clock.
Oh, no. Yeah, I believe all those box lacrosse players would be pretty decent at holding the ball.
Yeah. You know, opposed to the United States team, a year largely made up of college All-Americans and MLL players.
It's a different pace of the game, indoor to outdoor. And I also remember playing a lot of indoor lacrosse teams, and they never switched hands. They never really cradled the ball. But I have never seen players move the ball in such a small window with behind-the-back passes and backhand finishes. I mean, they got style. That is their own. So anytime I play lacrosse and I see somebody with a box lacrosse helmet on, I'm a little more wary of what they're doing on the field, because I know they're dangerous. Lewis Richmond takes the ball way outside.
For an ISO, instantly double teamed. Good look to the doorstep.
Ball still
Alex
loose.
Browning coming around X.
And a whistle, giving it back to the Bobcats, but I feel like they should
Strange
have just
call. If there
not
was,
blown that whistle. Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like an opportunity for a play on. Low angle.
Oh, the fans getting a little front row seat action there. Ball coming close to their area.
Might be a dangerous spot.
Five minutes left in the game. Ooh.
Another push from behind.
And another turnover.
Here, an easy clear to the middle of the field. Well, perhaps not. But the Bison will keep it after another push from behind. Joshua beating the ride now. Here's Lewis Richmond. couldn't quite handle that one, or else I think he might have been looking to shoot.
Oof. Just a bit outside.
Here's a nice settled clear from the Bison. Defenseman under pressure, taking it up himself, keeping it in bounds. It's going the other way. The Cats don't have numbers. Good job by the Bison by getting back into the hole off that broken clear.
Another errant pass.
Force enough pressure for the Cats to throw it away.
Yeah, the Bison have just put on a clinic today. This is how the game should be played. A settled, patient offense. A very aggressive defense. A goalie who makes stops. Face-off man who gets wins. It really has been a part of the game I've seen them lacking.
And above that, ball control, Tony. We haven't seen a lot of drop passes or even takeaway checks be successful on the Bison.
I think it's a testament of great coaching. Each player looks and plays exactly like every other player on the team.
North Dakota State certainly well coached with 6 coaches on the sideline. Which again, for MCLI teams is impressive.
Indeed.
To say the least. For a lot of teams, club teams, have a hard time finding guys who have played for consecutive years, let alone a competent coaching staff.
Great save there. And a flag down. Minute 30 left in the game. Looks like they're just going to get the player off for the penalty.
Greener once again. Did you see what this one was for, Tony?
I did not. But I think it's got to be a slash. I saw it when the flag came down.
I think so.
And the feed to the crease.
Spencer
Whips it back
Marsh
outside.
Dishing it back out for Dodge, and then another settled try.
I think they're going to get a stall warning. They just had one a second ago. Another shot bounced outside, saved, but collected
Big ground
again.
ball play.
Oh, it's still loose. Boxed out and collected by the Bison. Yeah, is there any area of the game that you have not seen the Bison just absolutely outclass the Bobcats?
That'd be hard to say, Tony. If anything, the man-up play Each of these EMOs have had a couple goals for plenty of tries.
And yeah, definitely. I've seen.
So I think that's the area they can improve most.
Yeah, a lot of penalties by both teams, so plenty of chances for both sides to get in there. Good observation, Mr. Nick Davis.
7 seconds left in this MCLA D2 matchup.
One final save, and that's the game.
Brink with possession.
Well, that'll do it. Final score being 11-5 in this scrimmage, with Montana State losing to the North Dakota State Bison. We'll be back here on Thursday for the game against Sierra Nevada. Montana State versus Sierra Nevada on Thursday at 3 o'clock.
3 p.m., Tony.
Same kickoff as today.
Should be another burner. Sierra Nevada, a perennially top 15 contender
All right.
for the national title.
Another challenging opponent. Be interesting to watch, see how the Bobcats bounce back. Are we off?